Every dungeon master worth their salt keeps a bestiary. Because not every creature is dangerous in the same way. Because not one fighting style handles all of them. And because when you walk through a door and something is waiting on the other side, knowing what it is changes everything. The fighter charges the skeleton. The cleric turns it. Nobody tries to charm a wall of fire. The bestiary exists because the right response is only obvious when you know what you're facing. This is ours, the Malware Bestiary. Every species, every behavior, every weakness. Open the book. Welcome back. I'm the architect. We've talked about delivery. The attacker gets something through the door. Phishing, social engineering, a compromised update, a USB drive left in the wrong place. Today we open the package and name what's inside, because malware is not a single creature. It's an entire taxonomy, each species with its own behavior, and its own purpose, its own preferred prey. Start with the one that gave the whole category its name, the virus. A virus attaches itself to a legitimate file, and it spreads when that file spreads. When you open the infected document, when you share the infected program, when the thing you thought was clean turns out not to be. An important key characteristic, a virus requires human action to spread. Someone has to move the infected file. Someone has to run it. Think of it as a cursed object, a blade that looks perfectly normal, but the curse travels with it. And when you hand it to the next person, the curse goes with them. Viruses were the dominant threat in the era of floppy disks and early file sharing, less common now. But the concept survives in more sophisticated forms. The worm. Everything a virus is, minus the requirement for human help. A worm is self-propagating. It spreads across networks entirely on its own. No infected attachment someone has to open. No action required. It finds a vulnerability in a connected system and uses it to copy itself to the next one, and the next, and the next. Worms spread fast, faster than humans can respond. WannaCry in 2017, a ransomware worm, infected over 200,000 machines across 150 countries in a matter of days. Not because people clicked links, because it exploited a Windows vulnerability and propagated itself automatically through connected networks. If the virus is a cursed object someone has to hand to you, the worm is the plague. Self-spreading, jumping from host to host. No middleman required. No saving throw offered. The Trojan, named for exactly what you think. It disguises itself as something legitimate, a useful program, a cracked game, a free tool, something you invited in. And once inside, it does what it was actually built to do, which has nothing to do with what was advertised. The distinction from a virus or a worm is the method of arrival. The Trojan doesn't sneak. It doesn't self-spread. It convinces you to carry it through the gate yourself. The gift horse. The beautiful offering left at the wall, brought inside with ceremony, and the soldiers waiting in its belly pour out after dark. Spyware and keyloggers. The quiet ones. The ones you may never know are there. Spyware watches what you do, what sites you visit, what files you access, and it reports home. A keylogger specifically captures every key you press, every password you type, every message you write, every search term in real time. The goal is intelligence, credentials, private communications, financial account information. Not disruption, not destruction, surveillance. The invisible familiar, perched on your shoulder, watching through your eyes, reporting everything to a master you've never met. The nightmare version of this is silent compromise, an attacker who has known your passwords for weeks because they have been watching you type them before you ever suspected anything was wrong. The Rootkit. This is the one that haunts forensic analysts. A rootkit embeds itself at the deepest layer of the system, below the applications, sometimes below the operating system itself, in the firmware, in the hardware drivers. And from there, it can hide everything, itself, other malware, the attacker's activity. A normal security scan looks for malicious processes. A rootkit makes the scan a lie, telling the operating system that the malicious process isn't there, intercepting the query and returning a clean answer. If spyware is the invisible familiar, the rootkit is the creature that has burrowed into the foundation of the tower itself, rewriting the stonework so the walls report all clear, while the dungeon below fills with enemies. Difficult to detect, extremely difficult to remove, because removing it often requires trusting the very system it has already compromised. Botnet. Your machine is a soldier in someone else's army. When a system is compromised and enrolled in a botnet, it receives instructions from a command and control server, and it carries them out, automatically, in the background, without your knowledge. A botnet might use your machine to send spam email at enormous scale, participate in a DDoS attack, it's flooding a target with traffic from thousands of devices simultaneously, attempt credential stuffing attacks against millions of accounts, mine cryptocurrency using your electricity and hardware. The individual machine is nearly worthless. The network of hundreds of thousands of them is a weapon, an undead horde, each one weak, none of them aware they've been raised. But together, under a single necromancer's command, they are a single siege engine. Right now, there are botnets with millions of enrolled devices, including home routers, including network-attached storage, including the smart device in the corner of the room that you haven't thought about since you plugged it in. Adware. The nuisance. The lowest tier of the bestiary. Adware generates revenue by forcing advertising on you. Pop-ups, redirects, injected ads into pages that normally wouldn't have them. It is often bundled with legitimate software. You installed the free download, it came with passengers. Less dangerous than everything else on the list, but treated as a signal. If something installed adware without your clear consent, what else might it have installed? What else is it permitted to do? The answer is worth knowing. Step back and look at the whole bestiary. Every creature has a purpose. Virus and worm, spread. Trojan, deliver. Spyware and keylogger, gather. Rootkit, hide. Botnet, scale. And adware, monetize. Knowing the purpose tells you what the attacker is after. What they're after tells you what they'll target. And what they'll target tells you what to protect most urgently. Same as any bestiary. Know the creature, know its habits, choose your weapon accordingly. One more entry, saved deliberately for last, because it's the one getting its own episode. Ransomware. The one that announces itself, loudly, on purpose, on every screen in the building. Because this one gets paid by announcement. We'll go there next time. Now your quest objective. Open your phone. Look at your installed apps. Open your browser. Look at your extensions. Find one thing you cannot clearly explain. Something you can't remember installing. Something you don't know what it does. Something you can't verify who made it. That thing has permission to run on your device, and you don't know why. Removing the unknown is one of the most underrated security actions you can take. Attack surface is everything you've ever let in. Audit yours. We've walked the bestiary. Next time, the entry that gets the longest chapter. The one that has cost organizations billions of dollars. The one that has shut down hospitals, derailed pipelines, paralyzed entire governments. And the one that is, in this campaign, connected to a name you should start paying attention to. Next time, ransomware. And an introduction to the Pale Court. I'm the Architect. We'll talk soon.